We will move on to Manchester City versus Chelsea because I know there's a lot of people that want to hear about that game. That is a huge one, of course. If Manchester City do win, they can close that gap to 4 points on Arsenal. Chelsea, of course, going through their managerial merry-go-round right now. Do you think that this is the perfect time for Man City to be coming up against Chelsea with everything they got going on? Maresca gone, Rossinha in. There's a bit of unrest around the fan base. Yep. Is this good news for Man City going into this?
Well, the thing is, right, so sometimes you get the sort of bounce back performances, like I mentioned earlier, when a manager leaves. So in that instance, you could say it's not a good time, but I don't think this is that kind of situation because this isn't a situation where I think the players wanted the manager gone. I think this is a situation where a lot of the players are unhappy that Enzo Maresca's gone. I think a lot of those players had good relationships with Enzo Maresca. I saw Reece James posting about him. I saw Pedro Neto posting about him. So I think the players liked the manager. And I think, if anything, the players are quite unhappy with the board in this moment in time that they let Enzo Maresca go.
Do you think so?
I think so. I think they like
players
it.
are not really bothered.
Exactly. I think that's standard procedure.
They're more worried about their own.
Yeah, players do that more from a PR point of view.
What you'll find in those situations is that the players who are regulars in and out, and the captain, week in, week out, and the captain and people like that, obviously they're going to come out with pledge.
And they have to do that, innit? It's more PR thing.
They kind of have to.
But if right,
so I wouldn't read too much into it.
Let me ask you this question though: if you're a young Chelsea player, right, on the up, whatever, want them to do well, whatever it may be, could you not kind of go? I could see where the vision was with Enzo Maresca. I could see where we were going. Now we don't even know who the next gaffer is. The guy who's wanting to come in potentially was a Sky Sports pundit a few years ago. Do you know what I mean?
They're all Sky Sports pundits.
I know,
you know what I mean?
What we doing,
anytime someone's shopping for a job, they're all Sky Sports pundits because they're trying to get back into the game.
Listen, if Rossinha comes in, takes over and has a couple of wins, all them guys that were posting, boss this, that will be long. Players are very selfish.
Yeah, point is though, I don't think this is that kind of performance where, bounce back, manager's gone, shackles are off. I don't think it's going to be that. I think it's a good time for Man City to play Chelsea. I really do.
Good time, yeah. What were you saying about the Liam Rossinha thing earlier on in the show that made you sure that he was coming in, the Strasbourg link?
Right, so
the owners slightly on that one.
They're owned by the same people.
Yeah.
The same consortium.
Clearwater.
Just to educate the audience.
Yeah, they're owned by the same consortium, so it's a
multi-club.
It can be a seamless transition.
Yeah.
Strasbourg are not going to stand in his way. And not only that, the cynic in me suggests that if you bring in Rossinha at a time like this, one of the reasons why Maresca has left Chelsea is because he'd obviously fallen out with the Chelsea hierarchy. Remember, he made that statement a few weeks ago about him being the worst period of his life as a manager and at Chelsea and stuff. That was because he felt he was being undermined by the board. So that relationship was being lost. If you bring in a new guy, especially if he's working for the owners in a different capacity, he's just going to get on with it, isn't it? I mean,
he's
some
a
people
company man, isn't he? Company man, that's what they're saying.
Well, yeah, that a lot of people are suggesting that. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't want to say that about Rossinha because he looks like he could be a very good manager, but he's not going to rock the boat, is he?
I mean, the memes are going viral. I mean, obviously, you had his doppelganger up here not too long ago. He's doing the business. So listen, I'm happy to see it. I'm happy to see some fresh faces in the Premier League as well. Do you know what I mean? Also, representation matters, like you said there, Laurie. So it's nice to see.
Yeah, it's nice to see
a person of colour in the Premier League. So yeah, it'd be nice, man. Let's see how he does, and if we get some more viral moments out of it,
let's be honest. This is purely from a cultural perspective. We're always moaning that there's not enough black managers.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see Rossinha get a job of this magnitude. I remember watching his son. Remember his son, Leroy Rossinha. He used to play for West Ham. Sorry, his dad. Yeah. Did I say his son? No, his dad. So yeah, man. He looks like a good manager as well, by all accounts. Very meticulous, very assiduous in his approach.
He's good in his
Derby.
Yeah,
he did.
He's been very highly touted in the game. From a personal
young guy get a
perspective,
job,
I think with Chelsea, it doesn't necessarily make the most sense for me because with Chelsea, a lot of the time I've been looking at them, the way they buy young, they have a very inexperienced squad at the top level, which is why I think you see them some days they're firing on all cylinders and they look amazing, and then other days they look like it's a complete shell of the side that you saw a week or 2 weeks ago with Chelsea, and that's what you get with a bit of youth and inexperience sometimes. So I think they should have potentially been looking for a more tenured head, someone who had been in the Premier League a little bit more, just to cultivate a little bit more I don't know, more flow within the team.
But then you flip it the other way round. Maybe the reason why they're going for a younger manager is because he's more in tune with the younger players. You know, he knows how to kind of.
That's an interesting point.
Yeah, he knows how to kind of maneuver in that sort of sense. We sometimes talk about managers that they kind of stick to their guns, whereas a younger manager might be more in tune with the younger players and more up to date with, you know, different formations and transitions and all those different things that we kind of see on Football Manager these days and stuff like that. So maybe it's a different approach, a fresh approach. And yeah, you know, he might be the new manager leading a new wave. Remember when Pep first came to the league and he started playing a different brand of football, and then everyone caught up like 2 or 3 years later, maybe even 5 years later. Maybe that's the senior era.
I would love it for him, but I don't think he's going to be the next Pep Guardiola, personally, this early on in his career. But they are coming up against a red-hot Manchester City side who, until drawing against Sunderland, something your boys weren't able to do, at the Stadium of Light, they have not dropped a single point since the 25th of November, a 2-0 defeat to Leverkusen. They have gone on a red-hot win streak after that. Really not a good time for Chelsea to be coming up against them, and not a good opposition either. Do you see that Sunderland game as a little blip for City? Because I think you said you saw City winning the league, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So do you see this as a little bit of a blip for them, and that you expect them to win this game? Well, basically, I'm asking you, how do you see this game going from a City perspective?
A blip, yes, but also Sunderland just being really good at home. That's not anything. That's not an anomaly. They've been really good at the Stadium of Light all season long. So they did. Yeah, they did. So they've been really good there. So not all that surprising in that aspect. But I just feel like, with the way Cherki is starting to really get going now, Foden is looking almost maybe back to his best. What won him the PFA Player of the Year award. Haaland is Haaland. Semenyo's coming in. So yeah, but in this game in particular, I expect it to be fairly straightforward for City. I don't know where Chelsea hurt them. Maybe on the transition, maybe on the counter attack. We know City, since losing the likes of Kyle Walker, have struggled with that. Because of their possession style football, they do leave a lot of space behind. So is it a case of, can a Garnacho, can a Pedro Neto, can one of them do something? I don't quite see it happening, because I also don't expect Esteval to play in this game. So it should be a straightforward game. But then again, Chelsea have got quality. Do you know what I mean? Like Caicedo, is a very good player. Enzo Fernandez, they can do a bit in midfield. So Chelsea could have something to say, but I just, with the recent events that have occurred, I just think Man City will do what you expect Man City to do.
Well, just quickly, is this a must-win for Manchester City right now, after, of course, Arsenal winning in the manner in which they have this week? Is this a must-win for them to close the gap?
They need to catch up with you guys. You know, you guys are setting pace right now. Were you 6 points adrift of them? No, 7.
Well, and Villa.
And Villa as well. So, yeah, they definitely need to catch up with the rest of the pack. I'm still not too convinced with the deal that they do with Semenya. I don't think that's going to be the bridging gap between them and you guys. I still think they need a little bit more. But yeah, let's see if they can get it done. You know, he's already, man, he's been in these positions before where he's kind of let them, whoever, lead the pack and lead the way, and then he's just come back and done his kind of Terminator sort of I'll be back sort of thing. And then
you honestly think that will happen though?
No, I'm backing you guys, but I'm just saying, like, he still needs to do a bit more in the transfer window. I don't think that Semenya's transfer is the bridging gap between them. Had they signed someone else, then maybe.
Sorry, quickly, the bridging gap that you mentioned there, I actually think the bridging gap is whether or not Rodri can stay fit. That's the bridging gap for me anyway.
Well, that's perfect, because there are actually a lot of people that are going to be missing for that game to be spoken about. Mudryk, of course, not going to be there. Caicedo, Lavia, Esuugo, Colwill, Cucurella and Hato out for Chelsea. Marmoush and Aitnori out on international duty for City. Stones unlikely to play. Kovacic, Gonzalez, Bob and Savinho all looking unlikely to feature as well. So can we just quickly get a quick fire predictions? We're going to start on my right this time. Manchester City versus Chelsea. What do you think the score is going to be?
I'm going to go with a Man City win, just because of the magnitude of the game, and obviously with Chelsea without a manager, I think it's going to be a Man City win, 2-0.
2-0?
Yep.
What are you saying, Laurie?
To me, I've got to be honest, it's going to be a relatively comfortable win for Man City. Chelsea are all over the place at the moment, not in good form. Manager's gone. 3-0 City.
I'm going to join Laurie on that one, 3-0 City. I think it'll be a comfortable win for Man City.
I think, given everything going on, I would also back Man City. And also, as I said before, let me know your guys' thoughts in the chat. Is it going to be City? Is it going to be Chelsea? We